in. And we are really fortunate to have all these disability inclusion champions with us. And in order to make our conference happen, over 90 hours of content on 3 simultaneous TV channels, we can only do that with partner organizations such as Irisbond. So I really want to take this moment to thank our trusted partners, because they really have come together, pooled their resources, pooled their efforts to pull off these great partner channel sessions. So I'm really thankful for what Irisbond has put together here, and just want to extend a big and warm thank you from the entire Zero Project team. And I'll leave it at that, and the stage is yours, and we all look forward to a wonderful partner channel session. Thank you very much.
Eduardo, I think that you are on mute. We cannot hear you.
So can you hear me now?
Yes, now we are here.
That's life problems as usual. So team, thank you very much for your words. Thank you for the support of the Zero Project organization, and for considering Irisbond as a trusted partner, no? As a provider of innovative solution at the end to get a world with zero barriers. So we are very aligned and very committed with the Zero Project. I'm very happy to see that despite of the pandemic, we can do it online, virtually, and the quality of the sessions can be fantastic, no? And I'm very happy today to announce that we have a very interesting panel today, very aligned with the theme of employment and ICT that the Zero Project is trying to promote. Today, we would like to discuss about the topic of In&In towards a more inclusive workplace. And for that, we are considering, and we are taking into account very interesting and promising companies. You know, we are have a roundtable that for sure will be very interesting, and we would like also to engage all the people in the audience to give us the feedback, to send questions, and we will try after the session to answer to that. No, so let's go to the topic. First of all, let me to introduce the high panelists we have now. With us today is Jesus Hernández Galán. Jesus is the Accessibility and Innovation Manager at Fundación ONCE. And let me explain Fundación ONCE what it is for people that maybe from abroad that doesn't know properly what they are. Fundación ONCE is the largest foundation in Spain, and the mission is to carry out job training, integration, and employment programs for persons with disabilities, promoting the creation of environments, products, and services that are global accessible. Wow. So, Jesus, very welcome to be here today.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, maybe we are the biggest organization of people with disability working with people with disability to improve the quality of life of us. We are around 70,000 people. I think there are no other organizations like us, and our incomes is around more than 2,000 million euros per year. So we are the one of the biggest, not just in Spain, maybe all around the world.
Thank you. As you can see, a big organization. So we have Ana González Talaban, who is a manager of customer success at Microsoft. Ana has a large experience in Microsoft, and as she said, helping people to carry out their full potential. Ana, very welcome to be here today.
Thank you very much, and thank you for being invited. Okay, so I'm representing Microsoft, but I think that I'm representing all the companies that that we are so committed, okay, to be sure that we are creating an inclusive digital transformation where the technology could play a really good thing, but people are the ones who are that we have the power. Okay, so let's talk about how we can be this good opportunity on our brand. Thank you, Eduardo.
Thank you, Ana. And last but not least, we have Lara Moraton Gutierrez. Lara is the accessibility manager at Samsung Electronics. Lara, sorry, has a PhD in linguistics and is responsible of voice assistants in Samsung. Lara, very welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me here with my two nice colleagues here. We're going to share this exceptional session, I'm so sure. About following the lead of what Anna said already, it's technology that is going to make the difference, but it's people who is going to make it really. So let's go for it.
Thank you, Lara. So as you can see, we have a great panel today, a round table, which in one hand, we have a big organization that takes care about inclusion and demands technology. And on the other hand, we have big corporations as Samsung and Microsoft that are providers of technology, but also because of the commitment with inclusion, they have their own processes in their companies to work in the policies of labor inclusion as well. So I think we have a very interesting speakers, and let's go to the point then. Today, we are going to talk about the labor inclusion and how we could design the workplace for fully compatible, fully inclusive. So, but the first question is why we should consider people with disabilities in this hiring process. I think the answer is because if we do not, we are losing about 15 or 20% of loyal talent, qualified talent in the workplaces. So that's not doubt. So going to the next point, what we are trying to do today is to go into the process of recruiting. I mean, we define the process as 3 steps, basically, when we design the job offer. Then we do the interview with the employee or the future employee. And at the end, we have the employee into the company. We have to adapt the workplace for this. So let's work on these 3 topics, 3 steps, and let's define a journey. As you can see in my back, there is a screen. We have a colleague, Javi, which is working in drawing a picture of all this process. So every step, every stage, we will stop and go to Javi's drawing to see how is the process improving, to understand which are the thoughts and inputs our candidates are throwing to the panel. And at the end, we will get a full picture of a 100% inclusive workplace. So let's go to the point, Strackley. Let's talk about the first topic, the designing of the job offer. So Jesus, what we should consider when we start designing a job offer?
Oh, I think it's important to consider all the capabilities of the applicants because we have to work in a multimodal way. We have to design the offer thinking people we can see or we can hear. So we have to design in this multimodal way. Maybe we have to think about the people who have intellectual impairment, depend of the offer of the job you are offering. But we have to consider too the easy to read offer. Is as I told before, we have to think in multimodal way to achieve all the possible applicants.
Great. And Anna, how a big organization as Microsoft is considering that in the process?
For us, it's critical, Eduardo, and there is something that I would like to reinforce, as Jesus said. Okay, so or the job offer itself is inclusive, or we are losing 1 billion people in the world. 1 billion, guys. So it's just about being sure that you have the technology that could support your offer, but in Microsoft, we create something that I would like to share with you that we call it employee as a recruiter. Okay, it's like to put the voice of the people that we already is hired in Microsoft. Okay, and they could talk, okay, from their experience. Okay, and we are putting in the job offer not just the part of the accessibility, we are putting the experience of these people. Okay, so we are putting like a link to a video of a person that is doing something in Microsoft, okay, with our technology and could have things related to accessibility, or it could be related to religion or gender or whatever. But in this case that we are talking about disability, super important to have the concept of the employee as a recruiter, because based on the experience, the people could understand that it is important to have the voice of the vulnerability and apply to positions despite that you have a disability or not. Okay, so for the job offer is to open our mind and not just put all our efforts in the pure letter. Okay, it's about the experience that the person could have.
Interesting. And Jesus, I mean, maybe a big corporation as ONCE, you have your own processes and you are very sensitive to that. But other organizations, how they could face that? They should take into account other maybe companies that they perform that, or?
No, I think there are a lot of companies that they don't have done this kind of job, and we help other organizations to improve their process, the interview, how to communicate with the people with the disability. We are working on that in that area because sometimes the big organization, other organization, are a little bit afraid about that to confront this kind of a situation. So maybe sometimes it's I think it's more the threat about that than the reality, because it's quite easy if you have in mind the different areas to put in work.
So you act sometimes as a consultant for other companies, I guess.
Yeah, we are working as.
Oh yes, oh yes. I would say that in our case, for example, in Microsoft, we hire a person with deaf and blind, and it was Fundación ONCE and ONCE who support us in all the journey. So it was incredible the work that they did to support us in learning, because you consider that this is a journey and it's easy. No, come on. The experiences in these companies, and it was amazing the work that the Fundación ONCE was doing for us. Okay, so I think that this is a work of joint venture for all the companies.
Sorry, this knowledge, I mean, these different views are key for companies, for us in our case, for instance, for Samsung. We need the view of all the different people that surround us, because if not, we cannot make proper products. That is, we try to make a product that suits everybody, that everybody can use. If you are lacking all these different views, we cannot we can just don't reach all the people we want to reach. We need a technology that facilitates the ease of this barrier and breaks these barriers, so that we can approach each other now more than ever with this COVID situation. So if we don't take in all this knowledge, all these different views, we don't get to the universal design. We really need to make a proper product so that it can be delivered as it should. It's technology for all, for everybody, that everybody can use, be at hand. So Samsung works really hard in this way. We have in Spain, we are now we have all these different projects under an umbrella of technology with purpose that develops areas like accessibility or education, among others. But some of them, like in accessibility, we've been collaborating with Fundación ONCE about, I don't know, it's 6 years now, Jesus, more or less.
We are very good partners, Microsoft, Samsung, and I think we are doing a great job, and we can show all around the world the work we have done together in Spain.
Yeah. All this input that we are receiving, it's improving our devices so that we can make it better. And we are learning also how to focus on new enterprises. For instance, we are now focusing on a new collaboration with a partner, ensuring that our devices are compatible with hearing aids. So all this enriches and finally makes a product that intakes all these different views, all the different needs.
And there is something that I would like to reinforce to Eduardo, really related to what Larry is saying about technology, is that when we are talking about the job offer, okay, we should stop thinking just about a post in a place, okay, and we need to open our mind and create processes, okay, before the job offer. Okay, so I could share the example that we were working with the different, even Fundación ONCE and most probably Samsung, okay, because we have the devices. It's about creating recruiting processes, okay, where we are focusing, for example, in cognitive disabilities, okay, and we create a process completely different. So it's not about the job offer. We are not looking to a role itself. We are trying to look for talent, okay. So open our mind, try to think more about what is the talent that we could have with people that have cognitive disabilities, and we create the process itself based on this environment, okay? And we use technology, as Lara said, okay? So we can put in place what we saw in this process, so the people could see that they could be inclusive, okay? And we can go for this. So for me, another recommendation would be, don't put every effort in the job offer. Okay, so create a pipe, show your culture in the company, because this will give the people the option to believe that they could apply to a position in any of our companies. Okay, so it's a reflection I would like to share with you.
Thank you, Anna. So I guess that the first stage, moreover, we have very interesting topics. Maybe let me to switch to Javi, and he will show us how is the picture is moving forward.
Good.
We have to share the screen. That's it. Okay, so zero barriers, design job offer. We are in the same stage. Fundación ONCE is an important player helping others for design the process, because if we do not, we are losing 1 billion people, as Anna said, no, 20% of the talent, and we have to start before position or posting the job offer. It's something that have to be included also in the culture, no. So I think it's well. I mean, any comment from you?
Well done.
Very good, very good.
Incredible the way that you could summarize and put so beautiful and smart.
Fantastic job, Javi. So let's switch to the other step. So now we have already designed the job offer. We have some candidates, and now we are in the stage of interviewing. We need to interview the candidates. So let's discuss about this process. The process of the candidate has to maybe to go to our offices, has to be accessible. We need to make the environment accessible. So let's talk about that. So Jesus, your experience on that.
First of all, you have to have a building accessible for people with a physical impairment, wheelchairs, and other kind of disabilities. But you have I think the most important is the recruiter, the people who do the interview to know everything about the disability, you know. And sometimes we have problem with the sign language users, and this is actually a problem. So you have to think about that, and if it's necessary to hire a service of sign language translator. Sometimes we interview people with intellectual disability or mental health impairment, and you have to think about that, and you have to train the interviewer to take that in mind. This is very important, and training them to do the right questions. And sometimes a bad question could be a very bad thing. I think this is the most important thing to take into account.
Good point, to train the interviewer. So Anna, how you face that in Microsoft? You are muted.
Yes, thank you very much. This is the most used sentence with the pandemic. You are on mute. Thank you very much. So yes, I think that there are two things. Okay, like Jesus said, we have a program that we call accommodations. Okay, that of course we offer to the person who is going to be interviewed. Okay, but we are intentional in asking, because I don't know why, but even during the pandemic. Because when you are moving to the physical environment, okay, you go to the office, it's like easier, okay, because we have everything prepared, okay, for people with disability. But during the pandemic, we asked to ourselves, okay, it's like, hey, ask for it. Be intentional about asking if you will need accommodation, because accommodation could be activate caption in Teams, okay, for the people to read it. Or it could be just to be sure that this person, as Jesus said, could be not just something physical, it could be something mental, okay? And we need to be sure that these people has a different interviews, okay? So we have a program that was a call for it, like it's related to neurodiversity, hiring events. And in this case, instead of having one-to-one interviews that are scared for the people with this type of disabilities, we put a team of people and we do team plays and things like that. Okay, so I fully agree with Jesus that we will need to adapt, okay, to the way that we interview, okay, depending of the people that we could have there. And we would like to go forward this, okay, because do you think that this is inclusive? In the end, we are putting some people with the same disability in a specific way of interviewing. We are trying to grow even more how to be sure that these people could be with all the people, okay, that didn't have disability, okay, that they could feel 100% inclusive, okay. But yeah, truly believe that we require intentional action, okay, to put in place.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I agree with you mostly. This idea of this training the interview, I'm thinking about, I don't know, a situation in which the interviewer perceives a person with hearing loss or visual loss, and maybe we have some tools at hand that we can sort out this problem. For instance, we have these instant transcriptions on just the mobile or just sharing a big screen to enlarge images. But the problem is just this: we haven't trained people. We haven't let people know that some of these tools are already available and are really handy. But we haven't created the awareness or the communication enough of being these tools available, so we can sort out these problems in the process of an interview or any other, but particularly in this situation, which it could ease and solve a really awful experience both for the interviewer and the interviewee.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you mean technology is there, but we are not communicating properly, no?
We are, yes, some tools are really at hand. We have lots of built-in features, but people do not know they are there, and even there's a long way still to walk. We already have many tools that we can use, but it's a problem of, I mean, I'm talking about us. We should probably expand and let others know and communicate more about what we already have, so that we all know them and can use them.
Yeah, critical to create awareness. I fully agree with Lara, because, you know, there are a lot of temporary disabilities. So the other day, I remember a situation that we were interviewing a person, okay, and no disability at all initially, okay, but this person was at home with a small kid, okay, and the kid was all the time coming back to the interview, and the person was super nervous. I was like, let's stop for a minute. Take the kid in your hands, and please, we can do this with the subtitles all the time. Okay, don't worry. So use the subtitles. Subtitles that were thought for people with disability could be used for a temporary disability. So disability should not be just something stopped. It could be something that is happening in a moment. So I agree with Lara. We need to open our mind to create awareness in the community of our own companies, to be sure that technology is used even for people that has temporary disabilities, because this will be really an inclusive way of hiring. Yep.
Yeah,
Fully agree with you, Lara.
And another thing that we see is that calling features for disability is something that brings people backwards. I mean, where is the border? Where do you start having a disability? I mean, everybody has a special need. I mean, obviously there are different degrees with different needs, but I'm thinking about myself. I'm not very tall, so when I go into a bus, there's no way I can hold myself from the top bar of the bus. So it's something that, of course, I'm gonna fall. I mean, this is stupid, but most maybe in the buses we should have a stripe to hold ourselves. All of them, and all of them are ramp to allow people in wheelchairs to go up. So it's just to show everybody that we are all very alike. I mean, there is not a border between you can use it because you have these and you cannot use it because, I mean, we just have to, I think awareness and understanding each other and letting people know more about each other is what is going to be key for the spreading of the knowledge of these features and well, to ease all these barriers that we are talking about all the time.
Fully agree.
Yeah, really, and flexibility and empathy is very, very.
Yes, empathy. Yes.
Yeah,
Critical. We talk about being an ally. You know, allyship and ally, that is so like a really fashion word, but it's about what you said, Jesus, okay? With empathy is the only way that you could really connect with any person. The disability could be permanent or could be just temporary. Yeah, very good.
Yeah, understand their needs and put in their shoes. Yeah.
And at the end, with the commitment is that, as you mentioned, that if we create environments that are accessible for people with disabilities, are also more efficient for people without disabilities. So this is something that
absolutely, yeah,
is important and is in the benefit of all the society, no? So something that
even for the company, I think, Eduardo, one thing that we realize is what Lara and Jesus already commented: how you could be sure that your people are ready for create this inclusive way of having the accommodation for the people when they are coming to the interview, empowering them despite that they could not answer the questions because they are more nervous in general than the other people, okay, because of a lack of self-confidence. So I think that this is really critical, okay, so that we truly believe that this is doable and that we put the empathy, okay, of listening, of understanding, and all this stuff, okay. So, and for this, we will need to train ourselves. This is for sure. Yeah.
Let me reinforce it, as Eduardo said, about the accessibility is good for all the company. For example, captioning in this kind of meetings, the subtitles is very useful for everybody. You know, the people who don't know very well the language is very useful for everybody. It's just an example. I have a lot of examples about that.
Yeah, we usually use it, Jesus, in our communication to customers, for example. And at the beginning, we're using because of the options of accommodation, okay, to be sure that the people that could not see could read them. But the reality is that the people are using because they could not understand very well English. And you can use it. Even if you activate the subtitles in PowerPoint, for example, something that we discovered in the last 2 months in terms of how to use it, is about I'm talking with someone who didn't talk English. So I'm talking in Spanish and the other person has the subtitles in Brazilian and you could talk. And so there is a really a space that the technology could give you.
Yeah, really. How do you think about
for disability and non-disabilities? Okay, for everyone.
I think you have finished. Have you think about a mortgage or an insurance contract in easy to read? Is good for everybody, for example, no?
Yes. Since we are trying to work also about this easy to read because we deal with manuals of how to use technology, and sometimes they are so difficult to understand. We are working on this easy to read version so that sometimes trying to figure out how to work with something, it's not that it's difficult itself, it's that the way it is explained, it's not the proper one. So moving into an appropriate way, that easy to read way of explaining things makes things more accessible for everybody.
And another thing I think that is critical is the experience that this person will bring to the market. So if the experience that we create, Eduardo, is the right one for this person will go later on to their own disability forums and will say, come on, we could do this. Come on, try to apply to this position in Samsung, in Fundación, in whatever it could be the company, because I feel safe there. Okay, our culture is so in these interviews. Okay, and this is another way to empower the people to continue applying and learn things because they consider that they could be part of these companies. Okay, so to create this experience, I think is vital even for the culture that we could create in the country, in the companies, in the society, I would say. Okay, so this is a social commitment that we should achieve as all. Okay.
Eduardo, let's have a look to the drawings to the thinking.
Okay, so Javi, let's share with us what you are writing. I guess interesting. So we discussed about many topics. So fantastic. So we are now in the interview process. It's create a great experience.
Wow.
Important. There are many tools available, and we have to use them and to communicate them. Of course, as Jesus said, we need to stand on the issues. Important. Raise awareness. It's important to get empathy, understand disabilities, train the interviews. Important. Also, we need to get people trained to understand, to get empathy on what we are doing. Fantastic. So I think it includes all our thoughts. Moreover, no?
Oh yes,
It does.
Yes.
It does.
You are a master of the design and listening. Come on.
Yeah, listening and understand.
Thank you, Javi. Thank you. So we cover the second step, and maybe now, of course, we have designed the interview process. We did the interview process itself. Now we have the candidate, and now it's time that the candidate has to be incorporated into our company. So how should be this process? How we could make that this new employee is part of all the team? So Lara, how your experience in Samsung? How you face that stage?
We've discovered we've discovered that the technology is going to accompany the new person in their new role, and of course there are many different types of roles. We can think of, I don't know, an executive role, field worker, sales. There are many different types of roles to which we have to adapt our technology. That is probably, I'm thinking about examples of devices that an executive would bring with themselves. It's a premium phone that, as we were talking before, built-in accessible technologies, and they are going to have a seamless connection with a wearable, also with accessibility features in it. But if we move to not sales, but a field worker who is all the time in the street, we would need something completely different. For instance, we would go for a tablet, but it is not only technology or devices itself that are going to make the work environment properly, but we also have to think in the accessories that could ease also this process. For instance, I'm thinking about a case. We were collaborating with another company, in which this case they help you hold in the tablet just with one hand, and also there is an intelligent assistant so that you can use the tablet just with your voice. So all these working all together is taking into account things that other companies may do, are going to accommodate and help having and using the proper tools you need to use. So dragging all these accessibility features from one place to another, not losing them on the way, but adapting them in every environment, I think it's key for anybody to adapt to any working position.
Anna, how do you perform that in Microsoft? How do you adapt workplaces?
We are just at the beginning of the journey. For me, this is a journey, a full journey, so that it depends on every person, okay, on the type of disability. If I could share my own experience, at the beginning, we focus, when we have a person with disability in my team, the first thing that we focused was in the building. Everything was about the building, okay? So if the person with access to the bathroom, the kitchen, the microwaves, the dog that the person was bringing to the office. So, and we never realized that it was just 1% of the journey that we would need to go, okay? Because it's more about how to integrate this person, how this person will not be the person with disability, okay? And this is where technology, the partnership with the Fundación ONCE and companies that have the experience help us a lot. Okay, so we create a specific readiness okay, for the people, okay, to be sure that they know what this type of disability could mean, we put this person to train us, okay, to understand what are the needs that they have, okay? And of course, we started to show her or him what are the technologies that we do have, okay? Immersive reading, it could be what Larry said, that this is a device that you can use, all the things that we could have. And one thing that I could feel really, really proud, okay, and I will foster in the rest of the company is to do hackathons. Okay, so that because one thing that we discovered is how we could help a person, okay, for example, blind, if it's happening something and you could not see it, okay, and well, there was an employee in a hackathon that we put this challenge to all the company, and there was an employee who created a power that is a very simple application, okay, that a person could just push the application and someone could help. So this is something that we truly believe is that we will need to create, okay, the environment, but together with the people who are around this person, okay, using always the technology, the devices, but for sure the experiences of putting the person on board. Because another thing that we were not talking is that to put this person on board, place the customer team. Okay, that this person will need to be in front of the customer, and the customer should be flexible too for this. Okay, so I think that this is a journey. If I could summarize this, Eduardo, we are doing a lot of things. Okay, but there is a long journey. Okay, in the way to make these people an inclusive environment.
I think it's a really good point now to learning from the user and how the organization should adapt. I think, Jesus, you are expert on this.
Yeah, we have a lot of experience in this topic, but we find out some companies, the pain point is when they have to spend money in the adaptation. No, for example, make works for the accessibility in the building, or invest in the technical devices or devices or tools, for example, a special mouse or other kind of assistive products. We discovered the situation, we have a lending bank of technical products or assistive products to lend to the companies, lend to the universities for the students or for the workers when they start to work and they need, for example, a special mouse. We lend to the company this special mouse. The worker try with that, and if this kind of device is good for the worker, we lend for temporarily, maybe 6 months or something like this, and after that they have to buy this device. No, so we start with this solution, with this lending bank to help the companies to be easy the income to the people. No.
Mm-hmm. And in that purpose, Jesus, we were talking last time about the new law of accessibility law that Europe is going to move. I mean, it was presented and accepted in 2019. Now it's a law, and in 2022 has to be adapted. So how this will change, adapt or help on this process?
I think it will help a lot, and now we are next week we'll have the disability strategy in Europe. The Commission is working on that, but the European Accessibility Act, I think it will be very, very important, not just for European citizens, just for all the citizens in the world, because all the companies who are manufacturing in different devices, especially technical solutions, software and hardware, they have to introduce the accessibility and to develop them with the principles of universal design. And this will be very, very important, because if you introduce the accessibility at the moment of the design, it's very, very easy and very cheap. It's not more expensive to obtain the device, accessible device. No. So the European Accessibility Act, I think, it will be a very good solution for everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, and for technological companies, as a technological company, we've been following this law since it was drafted at the beginning, and we have been adapting. And as you say, and we said at the beginning, from the very beginning, we have to conceptualize the product as a universal product to take into account these accessibility features. It's just one more feature. So at the manufacturing moment, it's not going to raise the cost or anything like that. It's going to be the same device, but with different features that you can turn on or off as you wish. And like that, have as devices, web pages, and the rest of the computer or the informatic solutions that we mean, or sources that we use.
In our case, and I fully agree with you both, in our case, even when we are developing a solution, Eduardo, now we are putting accessibility as a part of the initial architecture that we are presenting, okay? And with a cherry on the cake, is that not just to make it accessible because to be compliant, okay, with the new rules, is how to make it accessible for people with disability. That this is another space to run, okay? So there are rules that you will need to be and to put in place in your design of the products and solutions. And another thing is that how to be sure that this is universal, as Lara said, that is not specific for blind people, it's not specific for people with disability physical, it's for everyone, okay? So to elevate the accessibility to accessibility for all. And I think that we have a huge accountability, companies like Samsung, like ONCE or SAS, on making this from the first minute, as Jesus said. Because at the beginning is nothing, it's just one more feature. In the end, it's a huge investment of money that perhaps you didn't have, okay? And it doesn't make sense. So fully agree that you need to start from the beginning.
And really agree with you. It's not the cherry in the cake. The cherry in the cake must be part of the recipe.
Yeah, this is completely agree, Jesus. So it should not be an option, okay? So that right now it looks like it's an option, but I think that I could represent the technology companies in general, that we are changing our culture to be sure that it's part of our way of working, okay? So that the employee is going to ask for this in every role that they are doing, okay? There was something that we started this year, and I would like to share with you, is that we are promoting in all the employees worldwide to pass the accessibility badge, okay? It's something really short, not any more than 1 hour time, that talk about different type of disabilities and all the compliance things that as a company we will need to follow. And it's a question of creating the awareness, because this is part of the culture. So if you put this in the culture of the employees and in the culture of the companies, because we are partners and working together, tomorrow everyone will ask for it, because this is part of what the new generation are asking for, okay? So that
yes.
This is another thing really important.
Yes, it has to be a must feature. We are training with the courses carried out by Fundación ONCE. We are training our staff in shops, so that when people arrive and ask for a feature that is specifically for something, they can go right there and inform and create awareness and inform the customer of what we already have, which is a bit the line of what we've been talking before.
It's important also for the audience to understand that this is not a theoretical level. I mean, the thing we are here, I mean, Fundación ONCE, of course, is collaborating and creating very actively inclusive jobs. For example, Microsoft is promoting hackathons. We know, for example, in the US, the Team Lead Foundation has created a hackathon to make possible to control a wheelchair with the eyes, for example, with eye tracking. Or Samsung with Tecnología con Propósito, they are doing incredible things that are already in the market. So it's important to understand that should be a theoretical level, but also we need to create technology and solutions, and we are doing that.
And I truly believe that we need to run the same journey that the sustainability is doing. Yeah, because sustainability now is in every company conversation in terms of the economical point of view, not just about social impact. It's about the how we will need to face this. I think that we should elevate accessibility in the same way. Okay, so accessibility should be part of the conversation from the business decision makers, okay, as a critical point, as a sales differentiator.
Yes,
Okay.
I think that the key there is sustainability impacts everybody. And we are assuming that accessibility does not impact everybody, when this is not true. So I think that in the moment that we make aware all the people that this is something that is going to impact on your life, on everybody's life, then this position on politicians will probably change and follow the path that sustainability has followed.
Fully agree. Fully agree. So, accessibility for all is the thing, right?
That's it.
So I think everybody is nervous to see what's happening on the other side on the
For
picture.
sure.
For sure.
Go with Javi and to show what's going on. So with your time, Javi, let's see. We cover all the process, the 3 stages in the process. Maybe we can share the screen.
There are so many things that the technology is not supporting that.
Wow. So we went designing the job, offer the interview, and now we are in the candidate integration. That's it. So we have to adapt our working position. We have to co-create, important concept, co-create together with the user. And the team has to be involved on that as well, of course, understand which are the disabilities and the abilities, of course, and work with all the tools and accessories that they are in the market, and also apply to them and learn from them. I think is one of the keys, learn from them to try to understand how we should adapt the technology to the benefit, no? Change our culture. Great, done. Thank you, Javi.
We have said a lot of things. Yeah.
So it's almost finished. I mean, I understand that there is no much empty space there to adapt.
You're right.
Let me say one thing more. There are a very important lack about the accessibility in the university. There are no education, no training, no curricula about or not enough curricula about accessibility in the university. If all of our engineers, our architects, or everybody have knowledge about disability, about accessibility, not just disability, about accessibility for everybody, will have another world, a different world, because the ADN of the professional is made at the university. So we have to change this ADN at the university. The awareness, the everything.
Fully agree. Fully agree, and I would like to complement this with that we need to empower the people with disability to believe that they could be as anyone who is at the university or studying or learning languages, because this is another thing that is really difficult to find people that believe that they could do it. Okay, and come on, if there are 1 million, 2 million, these people could do it. And you will have a specialization. It doesn't matter what it could be, where you could be really good and talented. So I think I agree with Jesus that we will need to create the awareness at the university, and at the same time to train the people, to empower the people with disabilities to truly believe from the school that they have talent that they will need to develop. Okay, and that there are technology and companies that truly believe that this will happen. Okay, but they will need to put their voice there, okay, and perhaps be trying on vulnerability, Jesus, right? Like, we are vulnerable and we will need to do this, okay? So the voice is there, we will need to listen to this voice.
So maybe now we have, I think, 10 minutes left. I don't know if we have some questions for the audience. If not, we will get, this time to get the question from the audience. Meanwhile, so anybody that wants to have or give a question, please raise your hand, virtually, of course. I mean, and we will try to listen to you. And of course, you have the opportunity to having these 3 fantastic panelists here in the round table. So don't lose this opportunity. Meanwhile, I will while we receive any question, I will say, I mean, we are working on the first word, let me say, on adding this kind of policies, but Zero project is very focused also not only in the first world, but also in the development countries. So which message we could send to these people on these development countries on inclusion? Maybe Jesus, or whatever you want.
I let the floor. I pass the floor to Ana or to Lara, because you work with developed countries, no? Ana?
Oh yes, oh yes. So I mean that my answer would be technology is in the hands of everyone. Okay, so I think that Lara has been talking about this. Myself has been talking about this. Technology is there, and it's not just technology for disability. Okay, so it's like technology, like the digital transformation is starting even from internet, for connecting to something, to search for something, to use the screen reader, to really elevate more than just read. Okay, so it's go and use the technology. Okay, because the technology will give you as a development country, okay, the opportunity to go to this digital transformation. Don't think so big to think, oh, no, we don't have resources, we cannot do this. Come on, start from the education. Go to the people and show them what they could do, even for just a Windows or Microsoft Teams, or whatever, that they are free software. Okay, so there are a lot of software that is for free that you can use, okay, to develop yourself, to integrate people that you could have with disabilities in these countries, and be sure that they can develop their talent. With this, the next will come, because there are so many opportunities remotely. Come on, guys. Pandemic was not good, okay? But if there is a benefit of the pandemic, is that we really realize the huge amount of development that we could do remotely. So let's use it, guys, because internet connection will give you just the opportunity to develop.
Yes, and learn from our mistakes. I mean, don't make me the same mistakes we've already done. So if we could go to education, to the very beginning of education, as you were mentioning before, try to make people aware that the reality is not just the one that appears in the adverts. Reality goes far beyond that. So there are many different types of people that they are very much alike of us than people from the adverts, and that we should know that, encourage that, and use technology, use all our knowledge to just ease these barriers. Now it's easier than it was before, so let's take advantage of it and really learn from it. I hope we could at least is that way.
And learn about success too, because we develop many standards, we develop many researches about accessibility, so we have done. Just applicate.
Yeah, and open your mind in general, because as I said, now that you can do things remotely, find a mentor. So we truly believe for job posting, for all these type of things, go to the market and find a mentor in other companies, in other countries. It doesn't matter that you are based in a country that is not in development, but you could connect with someone who is in another country and share experiences. And we always think that that they could learn from us. Come on, this is not true. We can learn from them. Okay, and what Lara said is a question of learning together. Okay, but listening about the experience that they have. Okay, and we can connect both things, the learnings that they have because of the lack of resources, and the way that we proceed, and we could create something together. Partners, I think, is critical. Did we answer your question, Eduardo, or not?
Yeah, sure.
Or give me the money, one thing that we could do.
Sure. Sorry, we have a question from the audience. Please. It's from. Go to the question.
Is on the chat, or the person is going to unmute?
Should be. No, should be the question. This one.
Merino.
Yeah. So, yes, if we got.
Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, hello, Carla.
You can
Hello. Well, my question is, you were talking about temporary disabilities, so it made me think about mental illnesses such as anxiety or depression. So my question is, like, how do you include that in accessibility, or you don't? I don't know.
This is more about soft skills and to awareness all the team in the company, to think about that, to know about that, and know how to work with the people with mental illness or mental health problem. And we haven't developed yet at the moment any other solution, but I'm pretty sure with the technology, disruptive technologies as AI, artificial intelligence, and augmented reality, we can help people with intellectual impairment, cognitive impairment, and mental health impairment.
Yeah. And thank you very much, Carla, for the question, because this is now the reality that is happening because of the pandemic really, really high. In Microsoft, for example, we have a program of mental health in place for the employees. Okay, so that the employees has like a telephone number, they could ask for help, because all the pandemic is creating a lot of anxiety. And for give you an example, because we have like open forums where the employees could join and talk about what's the things that are creating anxiety. So one thing that we are using for giving you an example is that I don't know if you know that you can deactivate all the message that you are receiving in Microsoft Teams, for example, like if you are in the night mode. Okay, this is used to make you disconnected. So we have a lot of complaints coming from or concerns coming from the employees that this was creating a lot of anxiety, because in the end the devices are giving you the opportunity to be connected, but when you could stop being connected when you are at home and with all the devices saying, hey, are you there, are you there, are you there? So we put in place, okay, a program to get the people know about this feature in Windows, okay, and the people are using now a lot. Okay, so when they disconnect, they put the night mode, and it could be at 3 in the morning, or it could be at 12 in the afternoon. I mean, that it depends on you, but it gives you the opportunity to disconnect, okay, for it. So just to answer you is like, perhaps we were not creating features in particular in technology for this depression, anxiety, etc. But yes, we are reflecting about this because we have more and more cases because of the pandemic. Okay, and we are trying to analyze how to put these technology features for help the people. Okay, it's a really good point, Carla.
Yes, it is. We've been working. We've worked a long time ago with a psychologist team that were dealing with with anxiety problems in children, and they used VR glasses, virtual reality glasses, to create an immersive space where you could focus their attention in a particular point so that they can be treated. And it was a real success because they were expanding this not only to anxiety problems but hyperactivity and other issues. So the use of these fake environment, but that drive them calm and feeling under control, was helped by the use of these VR glasses. So it's an interesting, always collaborating with others, with psychologists, with other people that knows about that, and using technology as a facilitator, as we said before.
Okay. And there is something that Jesus commented that is really critical: artificial intelligence. Okay, because all the efforts that we are doing around this, in part, there are a big effort dedicated just to understand and analyze the behaviors of the people. Okay, to support them and help them. Okay, on how they should act. Okay, so I think that artificial intelligence will give us a lot of space. Okay, for this.
And help to design the task, the timing to dedicate any task, to try avoid the stress. So for that, I talk about technology, but I talk about the awareness of the team, the mates, and the boss of the worker with the mental.
So thank you for everybody. I mean, I think we cover. I mean, it's 11 now. So let's go briefly to show the picture, the whole picture. So Javi, please can you share with us your screen, and we will see your amazing job. How at the end we can put in one graphic which has been all the process in the recruitment for a more inclusive and innovative workplace.
Amazing! Come on.
Fantastic.
Really, really amazing. We will need a copy, yeah, Eduardo? Come on.
Yes, we want one.
Yeah.
We'll share with all of you.
We would like to have it at home. Come on.
we will share with you. So as I said, thank you very much for three of you. I mean, it has been a pleasure. I enjoy a lot talking and discussing with you. We could be for hours and hours discussing. Time is limited. So remember, there are no people with disabilities, but people with different abilities. And we need to use technology to highlight those abilities. Thank you very much for everybody, and see you next time.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
We got it, no?